Hey, listen, if you don't want to be happier, please do not subscribe to this channel. But if you're interested in more joy, check out this clip. So you're kind of pulling it together, and at least you know.
Yeah.
That it's not. I don't know where the identity is found, but it's not in these bad things.
That's right.
So then someone calls you from your old coach calls you.
So we break up. I'm super depressed. Old football coach calls me out of the blue.
Talk about God.
That's right. And I'm like, what is happening? He wants to go meet for coffee. Wow. We meet in Boulder, and next thing I know, I'm obsessed. And I'm like, what is this thing? Because I started to realize,
who is this Jesus?
That's right. Like, who is this man you're talking about? But I started to notice that at the end of the day, he taught me Romans 8:28, and knowing that no matter what, it's all for the glory of God. And it's not something I can control, whether I want it to or not. It's going to play out for him. And I started looking at my own life and being like, I don't know why my mom died so young, unexpectedly, but it's taking me somewhere. And then sure enough, I started going to a Protestant church, which was a great experience.
Yeah. Where were you going?
Red Rocks out here, one of the mega ones.
It's mega, yeah.
And they're phenomenal, and I didn't know any different, but I became in love with it.
And in love with the Lord.
That's right.
I mean, that was the entrance into Jesus.
No question.
There. That's incredible.
At the ultimate extreme, and then met my now wife, and I was convinced I was going to convert her. And she was a focused missionary, so I didn't stand a chance. And next thing I know, I show up at Lourdes. We bounced around to a bunch of different churches. None of it was landing for me. And then ended up at Our Lady of Lourdes here in Denver and was won over by Father Brian. And I remember the first time Steph saw you at Mass, and I looked over, she's like, that's Chris Stefanik. He has like 50 million followers. And I looked over, I looked at the wrong guy. I looked at the wrong guy, and I was like, that guy has like, I'm like, wait, what? And then I got to meet you, and it was just, it was game over at that point. It was a rare experience to meet somebody in the Catholic Church that was so real. And counter to everything else I was seeing.
That's humbling, man.
So
I love you, buddy.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's been an up and down journey, but now at the end of the day, I know I have God no matter what comes and goes in my life.
It's incredible, man.
That's the foundation that I now have.
So with the whole struggle with eating disorders, how has the spiritual life healing been part of the continued healing? Because I know every healing in our lives, it's like peeling back the onion. It just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And previously you had been just somewhat vaguely spiritual, but not religious, and then you're Christian, then you're Catholic Christian. And how were these two journeys intersecting?
It finally gave me a purpose, like knowing that I had God, and that I could look up to that, and that's to what you said earlier. I mean, I became obsessed with confession out the gates. I just almost too much. But it was now bigger, and I wasn't searching for something. And with the eating disorder, I was searching for something.
So it solidifies the healing.
That's right.
That's what it really does.
That's right.
We had a great question with your parents getting divorced. Did you have fear entering into marriage?
100%.
Yeah.
I think I still do. And it's something that, because Steph is nothing like what I grew up with. I mean, I'm an only child. She's one of 4 girls. All of a sudden I get married. Now I have siblings, and I never did. So I dealt with all of that growing up by myself. So I don't know how to ask for help. I don't know how to do a lot of that stuff. And I've only seen broken relationships. So really diving into communication and prayer together. There's a lot that my natural instincts, it's a lot to overcome.
Yeah, right?
It's intimidating.
And it's a beautiful thing. Like, the Lord's never done with us. It's kind of annoying, Lord.
Yeah.
And it's often through painful experiences that He keeps digging in there.
Yep.
You know, but there's something I've been working on in the past few years, because I was at the top of my game with speaking, and then all of a sudden COVID happens, and then that's gone.
No question.
You know, but then it revealed for me mixed motives I had, and ways that I had. The Lord uncovered this, ways I had just taken secret vows. I went through some great healing with a guy, Bob Schutz.
Okay.
that when you believe certain things just from your childhood, you start to make promises that you didn't know you made.
That's
you
right.
will without willing to.
That's right.
And I realized there were parts of the things that motivated me in ministry that were tied to I have to be everyone's hero and help everyone all the time.
Yep.
And that's good to a point.
Yep.
Then it burns you out.
That's right. Diminishing returns on that one.
Yeah. But the within marriage, that these secret vows that you take, that like I will not be my dad, right? Or I'm going to act out of that. Well, you don't want to be your dad in that old relationship, but that can't be the thing you live out of in marriage. That's right. Or I have to make mom happy or everybody happy, and then you get exhausted as a dad. Yeah. But it's amazing how within marriage, all these wounds.
That's right.
Are so exposed. Yep. And I remember one counselor I went to. He's like, you get married thinking it's your healing balm, and you discover it's the diagnosing finger of God.
Totally.
It's like pushing on the brake and like, how's it there? Like,
that's right.
It stinks.
Every button that can be pushed.
Yeah, it's pushed.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I've learned, because I know my mom was my absolute best friend, and when I look back, I realized how heavy it was, and the more that I've had to kind of walk through that journey, peeling back the layers of the onion. Yeah. But it's also taught me empathy and knowing that she grew up in a very broken home. Yeah. And so now to that question and being able to answer that of like, there's this underlying pressure of like being different and trying to break that chain. That's been a very interesting journey.
Yeah. Praise God for the continued healing. Man, wasn't that great? Listen, if you don't want to be happy, be sure not to subscribe. But if you want a more joyful life, the kind of life that God created you for, the kind of life Jesus promised when he said, I came to give you life to the full, then make sure you hit subscribe and share this channel with everybody you know.